they're relying on Amelia, but that's becoming predictable.
It is tough for a team that's had good results and then they see themselves slipping.
With Hall at the back, they're an amazing combination.
It's going to be interesting to see what the Mystics do with Sophia now. They won't want to let her go.
But I think also the coach, she's getting pretty frustrated now too.
The Tactics have the luxury of, they've got a very settled team if you look at their starting seven.
Who is a player who has gone offside the most?
Wow.
No mai ki te hōtaka o te neti poro Kiwi. Kia ora, I'm Bridget Tunnicliffe and we're heading to the business end of the ANZ Premiership, so overdue a catch-up to talk neti, long overdue. Dion Te Whetu, former New Zealand men's coach and journalist Penny Miles, joined me. Kia ora, korua. So 7 rounds down. How are our original picks looking? The Mystics and Tactics have already locked in places in the final series. There's one spot up for grabs, likely to be a race between the Steel and Pulse. Maybe the Magic could sneak in. So Mystics, Tactics, Pulse in the top 3 currently. So not that different to what I was expecting. I think I tipped the Magic as nudging their way into the top 3, actually at the expense of the Tactics. So I was thinking Mystics, Pulse, Magic. Penny, I'll start with you. Have you been surprised about where the teams sit on the ladder? How does it compare to what you predicted?
Well, you know, Bridget, always a difficult job predicting the season ahead, but I'm actually pretty happy to say I did obviously go for the Tactics, which we were all saying were going to be incredibly strong, as they have been. Mystics are also having a good season, in my opinion. Like you, Bridget, I also tipped the Magic, but I did have some reservations about the Pulse, and that has come to bear. So I found that interesting looking back. I had to check.
Yeah, Dion, what about you? Any surprises?
Yeah, I am a bit surprised about the Magic not being up there. I did tip them to be in that group. Yeah, so a couple of surprises, but we'll see what happens in this next round.
Yeah, I mean, we've got to talk about that final game of round 7 on Monday night. The Steel somehow beating the Pulse by 1 goal. Like, I was at the game and I still don't know how they did it. The Pulse had those 2 back-to-back losses, but it looked like they were getting their mojo back in that game. But the Steel just never gave up. You know, what's going on with the Pulse?
I'm going to throw out my uneducated guesses here. I think, yeah, they're relying on Amelia. They're putting a lot of pressure on a shooter who is sitting at the top of the shooting stats. But after a while, that's becoming predictable. So the opposition coaches are making adjustments, and we saw a clear example of that. When they played the Steel, Wendy was bold enough to change both of her circle defenders, and it paid off. I think part of it is Jackson is leaving the post all the time for one intercepted game outside the circle, but she's bleeding at least 3 or 4 easy goals per quarter. Tiana, she's playing a third feeder role instead of injecting herself and dominating inside, as we all know she can do. And I think all of these factors combined, you can see it slowly building up during the game, and there's a bit of frustration there as the game goes on amongst the team, and then come to the fourth quarter, they're capitulating a little bit. I think my other thing is still waiting on Mason to fire as well.
Yeah, I think she fired. She was on fire until 3 games ago. And the same with Kelly Jackson. They started really well, and then about 3 games ago, they're quiet, and then they're quiet again. And then last week against the Steel, we saw a bit more spark, but not enough. Yeah.
They've just kind of lost that Pulse sort of foot on the throat consistency that we're used to seeing.
Yeah, Penny, we
you have to say that
earlier about
that last quarter was really telling, wasn't it? 17-7 it was to the Steel. And so at that point, the Pulse defence really weren't effective against Aaliyah Dunn and Georgia Heffernan. She had a blinder, and it was really exciting to see, wasn't it? She got her super shots through, and they were phenomenal under pressure. But also you just have to wonder about the dynamics in the Pulse, just what's going on behind the scenes in terms of, it is tough for a team that's had good results and then they see themselves slipping, and, probably hard to keep up their relationships and everything when they're under that kind of pressure, because none of those players, playing at Ferns level, they're not going to be happy with how the season's been going.
Yeah, Tiana against the Tactics scored 4 goals. and against the Steel 7 goals. I mean, there's just no way she's going to get into the Silver Ferns when you look at that. Nolene's already said she needs sort of 15 goals out of goal attacks. She's not even close. Yeah, just
I don't even know if she's made herself available for the Ferns.
Possibly not. Yeah. Steel on the other hand, the contrast with that shooting circle, I think Heffernan put up something like 24 and Dunn was 30 something. Yeah, they were amazing on Monday night. But generally, Penny, what have you made of the Steel this year?
Oh, really exciting, actually, in a league that for me has been quite flat. Really good to see one of the New Zealand teams with a newish roster just really playing with a lot of energy and enthusiasm, and great to see Wendy Frew going so well and Liana Leota really bringing that team along. So, I think they've been fantastic. And along with the Mystics, I think they've been one of the most exciting teams just in terms of sort of establishing a new combination. So a lot to like about that.
Yeah, let's go to the top of the country, the Mystics. I thought they were going to be in trouble when Danelle got injured. But Phil De Vui and Sophia Lafayette, their combination is so natural, it's so good to watch. And man, Lafayette, what a replacement. Dion, what have you made of the Mystics?
For me, the one thing about the Mystics is, unlike the other teams, I'm seeing their ability to adapt mid-game. They're showing super smart netball. I think that moving Sokolich Beats into goal D with Hall at the back is just... they're an amazing combination, and I think Michaela's playing a real Australian style of goal defence, which we all know she's capable of, both physically and mentally, and she can hang in there for the whole 60, and it's really causing trouble for opposition. And I believe that's made a huge difference. And Toiava down the other end, just there's no one has the ability to shut her down, and when they're trying to shut her down, she just introduces it. She pulls everyone else into the game. It's really cool to see, and I love when I look at them out of all the other teams in the comp, their ability to adapt mid-game is what's working really well for them.
It's going to be interesting to see what the Mystics do with Sophia now, because they won't want to let her go. They'll want to keep her in the Mystics. What do they do contracting-wise next year? They'll want to keep Danelle Wallen. They'll want to keep Phil De Vui, and they'd love to keep Sophia. That might be at the expense of Hannah Glenn. But then I wouldn't be surprised if the Stars try to sign up Sophia. It should be a great asset for them. And what the Stars will be able to say to her is, we'll give you starting games. You'll be in the starting lineup every week. Whereas with the Mystics, if they've got Danelle, it might be, you'll get a little bit of game time.
Yeah, it's a real conundrum. I mean, a young New Zealander coming through doing so well, I'd really prefer to see her there in goal shoot ahead of Danelle. But it's whether she can really maintain that into the second year. I think you were mentioning that off air, Bridget. So it's like, a breakout season is all very well, but what happens the next year? So it is an intriguing situation, but she so far is incredibly capable, isn't she? Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm loving what Catherine Hall's doing. She's just so impressive. Okay, the Stars obviously struggling at the bottom of the table, had terrible injury problems, lost Greer Sinclair, Kate Burley. Simone Nathan was out for the start of the season, etc., etc. Defensive-wise, they are leaking the most goals of any of the teams. Dion, they are sorely missing Kate Burley, and I guess I was expecting a bit more from Remy Carmore.
Yeah, I think everyone was expecting a little bit more, and especially having they've got a specialist defensive coach in the coaching ranks, and that's their biggest problem. And I also think that the Magic are suffering a little bit from that defensive end as well. But they've had a tough run. I believe Greer could be one of our best players in the next few years if she gets the right guidance. But for me, I feel for Charlie Bell. You could build a team around someone like Charlie. I feel she's potentially been a bit let down. We've seen it happen before with Bassett when she came here in 2021 for the Magic. She shot 92%. Didn't have the greatest time. I think they won one game out of 15, and she went back to Australia, and she was never seen again. And I really hope that this doesn't happen to Bell.
Yeah, Penny, we were talking about Bell, and I would say she's been good, but not spectacular. But you can tell she's got the Australian mentality, because she gets really annoyed when she doesn't play well. Like, you can tell she's getting angry at herself.
Yeah, the first couple of games she was outstanding, hasn't she? But I think just the whole unit of the Stars, it's just really not working. And she hasn't been able to be that outstanding person in a losing team, which is a difficult role to play, isn't it? But then I also think playing Maya Wilson at goal attack is pretty problematic as well. Don't know what you guys think, but I just find it a hard watch. Yeah.
Yeah, I just don't know if she has the same punch that you need at goal attack. What do you think, Dion?
It's kind of like she's out there in that role, but she's got the goal shoot mindset. And, I watched her play on Sunday and, she turned over so much ball, which is unlike Maya. She's pretty smart player, and she's been I know she's taking a real leadership role in that team and the culture side of things. And then you see Hansen come on, and you think to yourself, well, when she came on, the ball was flowing through the court a lot better. Her passing's really good. She's got good vision. She's a high-level indoor player. And then, of course, the 2-point shots. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, that was amazing. I couldn't get over how quickly she was releasing the ball on the 2-point shot.
That's that indoor thing. And but even her coming in and then drawing back out of the circle and just the way she was setting things up. If you were to play Maya for that first 10 minutes, then tactically you would put her on every quarter for the last 5 minutes. And you know what? If they did that, then, they're probably going to win games.
Okay, let's talk about the Magic. The description is not to their full potential this year. So up and down. I think when Ekenasio and Tui are on, they're amazing, but again, inconsistent. And I've been a bit surprised about Claire O'Brien. She was so good last year, had so much impact, but not so much this year. Yeah, Penny, I think they'll be kicking themselves.
Yeah, I mean, they just haven't been there from the start, and it's almost a bit of a perplexing situation because they have got the roster, they have got the combinations, and it just goes to show again, doesn't it, that, you can't rely on the preseason results. But I think also the coach, Mary Jane Araroa, she's getting pretty frustrated now too. I don't know if you saw the timeout when she was talking to Saviour Tui in the last game. And I found it quite awkward to watch. It was almost like Tui was getting a dressing down on national TV. And I don't know if you saw that, but it was really awkward. I just thought it showed, things are not going well.
Was that when she said, I want you to grab the ball with aggression or something like that?
Yeah, I think it was, but it was like the camera just focused on the two of them for what seemed like a really long period of time. And she was saying, do you understand me? I'm paraphrasing here, but she was saying, do you understand me? But I just didn't think it was a very good look.
I saw that and it didn't bother me.
Didn't bother you? Yeah.
I think she was I think she was just getting confirmation that Tui got what she was talking about. But it's hard to know what's going on there.
I think, they could use Saviour. Saviour's got the strength, power, and ability to play that, tall shooter role. And if you see Saviour, in the physical presence, like she can play that role and she can do what's required. I understand that coaches get frustrated. In the heat of the moment, sometimes things are said and in reflection, that's not the best way.
How about Georgie Edgecombe, though? I love what she's doing, man. She is so good.
Yeah, she's really...
She grabs the ball like an Australian, dare I say? Yeah, I would not want to bang into her. She's solid and fast.
She is. She's a real athlete.
Some good wing defenses, though. I think Paris Lokatui has been phenomenal.
Yeah.
And I almost feel like for me, Lokatui is the more impressive player because I find her so smooth getting the ball down the court, and she's also incredibly fearsome. I find with Georgie Edgecombe, she's phenomenal on defense, but I sometimes feel like maybe she's not quite as fluid on attack, but that is being really tough.
Yeah, I agree.
We'll talk about tactics, who are top of the table. I thought they were going to be good, but not this good. The luxury of having 3 frontline shooters, Martina Salmon, Ellie Bird, and Tobias Selby-Rickett. Donna's really lucky she's got that collective. And then, if one of them was to get injured, it wouldn't be the end of the world like it would be for some other teams.
Yeah. Smart recruiting. Donna knows shooting inside out, and she's obviously worked really hard with the mental structure with those 3 shooters. And there's a couple of, I think there was a game where she didn't play Ellie at all and she had Martina at goal shoot, and what she is doing is working. And I think the Tactics have the luxury of, they've got a very settled team. If you look at their starting 7, the defensive 3 that they've got there, they are so in sync with each other. And Jane, I thought, played an outstanding game the last round, but they're very settled. They've got a different mentality, it looks like, and they're going to be a problem for any teams that come up against them.
Yeah, Penny, Kartenberger, Jane Watson are firing, and Holly Mather, she just does her job.
Yeah, she's absolutely slotted in, isn't she? And she seems really reliable and consistent and athletic, and just really bouncing off the players around her. Just seems to have no fear, good under pressure. So that's actually come up really well for them, hasn't it? And I mean, Ellie Bird's been so good. Is this the best she's played? She's looking fantastic.
Last year she was great too. Yeah. Okay, let's just go off track a little bit. Casey Kopua playing over in the SSN. Penny, what went through your head when you first heard that news?
Oh, just like everyone, I was just absolutely shocked. Could not believe it. I had to actually look up how many years it was since she'd last played. And then my next immediate thought was, is she fit? Like, can she actually do this? And I'm just so impressed with what she's done, and she seems to be really enjoying it. And I was gutted that they didn't win the last game against the Swifts at the weekend, like the New South Wales Derby. They were up by 10 or something, so they were really in the driving seat. That to me would have just been like a perfect record. It would have been amazing. But she's a legend, and good on her. It just really goes to show a senior player can really bring those around her through. And I've sort of been waiting for her influence to maybe be a bit diluted, but no, it's still going really well. Yeah.
Dion, what went through your head when you first heard that she was going to play SSN after 6 years?
Yeah, the first thing that went through my head is how upset the Australian public would be, and I was right. Their shots were fired pretty quickly, and I guess it's that catch-22, right? And smart coaching. Do you need experience and presence at 40 years old? Do we need the experience and presence over that youthful exuberance? And there's no substitute for experience, and I think it's what the coach wants, but. Yeah, obviously the Australian public were not in agreement.
They've changed their mind pretty quickly. They're
pretty, have they?
Yeah. They're fickle. They're very fickle. Yeah.
She was even on like 60. She was even on 60 Minutes or something. Like they've actually. She's had a lot of media coverage. Yeah.
Oh, good on her, man.
Yeah.
Good on her.
When I saw an Instagram post of her in Giants. And I thought it was like a new fantasy league that had started. I think it's like a game, like a fantasy league where I think they do it in rugby, where you get to compile your fantasy team of legends for a team.
But you know what?
Hang on.
You'd pick her, right? You'd pick her 100. You'd pick her 100 times out of 100.
And then I was like, hang on, is this real? And then I had to Google it and then go on the Giants website to confirm it was real. Yeah, I'm loving it.
Yeah.
Penny, you and I do watch a bit of the SSN. There's only so many hours in the week, so I watch maybe 1 or 2 games a week. But the storyline on the weekend, Casey versus Grace, was so good. But what is it about the Australian League? I know you really like watching it. What is it about that league that's so enthralling?
Well, I think it's the athletes, actually. I think they've got the money behind them just to be really, really superb. And also I think it is the maybe global nature of it is really good too. So I think the money and the world, those two things just absolutely fantastic. And it's been so cool, like Casey joining in, suddenly 2 Kiwis. It's like, I really enjoyed that. Yeah, to go with all the Jamaicans and English and everyone else. So yeah, fabulous.
Yeah. The imports have great backstories. So it is really good. Okay, I asked you to come up with your top 7 players in each position off the court so far, based on the ANZ Premiership performances so far this season, going from goal shoot to goal keep. Let's start with goal shoot. I've got Walmsley.
Yep.
I just had to go for Aaliyah Dunn. It was a bit of a sentimental pick, but I think good on her. She's going really well.
Goal attack. This took me a while, but I've gone Ignacio. You guys?
I actually paused for a second. I was like, why am I pausing? It's Ignacio all day, every day. But
yeah, and the stats back it up.
Yes, Ekanase, I'll go with you guys.
Yeah. Okay. Wing attack, Peta Tuiava.
Yeah, Peta
Tick.
Tuiava.
Absolute tick. Yeah.
Centre I found really hard. There's been lots of great performances, but on balance, I've gone Kimiora Poi.
Yeah, I went Poi as well.
I've gone Maddie Gordon. For me, last year when her and Kimmy were playing centre wing attack in the black dress, they just found this combination that was amazing. And I think what it did is it really brought out Maddie's feeding. And I just think for me, overall consistency, determination, and grit.
Wing defence, I've gone Georgie Edgecombe.
Oh, I've gone Paris Lokatui.
Yeah.
I've gone Karen Burgo, and I'll explain more about that later. But yeah.
Oh, nice.
Okay. Okay, goal defence, I've gone Karenberger.
Yeah, Karen Burger.
Sokolich beats him.
Okay, yeah. So that means you've got those two players in the team. That's how you get them in. Yeah.
Yep, and they're interchangeable.
Yeah. Goalkeep, I've gone Catherine Hall.
Yeah, Catherine Hall.
Catherine Hall, 100%.
Yeah.
I'll be very surprised if she does not make the Ferns. And Jackson, she must be looking over her shoulder.
Okay. Who is going to win the ANZ Premiership? I mean, we know Mystics and Tactics are definitely in it, and then who knows is the third. I want the Tactics to win, but I think the Mystics will. What do you think, Penny?
These are tough. They're really hard to separate, these two. I think it's going to be on the day. Yeah, I can't separate them.
I definitely think it's going to come down between Tactics, Mystics. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Dion, who are you thinking?
I want the Tactics to win, but my brain, not my heart, says that the Mystics will probably take it away. But yeah, man, it'll be a final to worth watching. That's for sure.
Yeah, well, hopefully the way the Tactics are going, they may well get, if they end at the top of the table, they'll get a home final, and maybe that will get them over the line. Yeah, hopefully. Okay, just going to finish this chat with a wee guess the stat game. I'm going to test your knowledge. Okay, who has sunk the most super shots so far this season?
Oh, I'm going to go with
quick answers. Go Penny.
Malia Sala.
Okay, I'll go Heffernan. Georgia Heffernan.
Nah. Malia Sala, nah.
Salmon?
Nah.
Vui. Fielder Vui?
Yes, Fielder Vui.
Ah, yes,
Fielder
of
Vui.
course.
Yeah. Who has the most intercepts this year?
Hall.
Yep. Who has the most deflections this year?
Catherine Hall.
Nah.
No, Slythe.
Yeah. Who has the highest number of penalties against them? A clue is the oldest player in the comp.
Oh, Edina.
Yeah. Who has the highest number of turnovers?
Oh,
that's a tough stat.
Yeah.
I almost don't want to guess this one.
me neither.
Pulse.
It's a Pulse player.
Tiana Maturo. Yeah. 54.
Oh.
A lot of the shooters, I think Heffernan's like third or something. So a goal attacks feature highly. She handles the ball. Wow. Yeah. Who is a player who has gone offside the most?
Georgia Edgecombe?
No, that's what I would have guessed too, but no.
Sooners?
No.
Is it a defender?
No.
Oh. Wow.
Mid-quarter.
Wing attack.
Kimiora?
Peterson? Whitney. Oh no, we've said Whitney.
Peta Tuiava.
Tuiava.
Yep. 6 times. Okay, and this is quite a random one. Last one. Which player has done the most throw-ins so far?
Wow. Most throw-ins.
Well, which player normally handles the ball most for throw-ins? When the ball goes out the back, it's the goalkeeper.
Must be a keeper. Yeah.
And it must be a team who are doing well on defense because they're forcing the ball out a lot.
No, Hall.
Nah.
Oh, Jane Watson.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
He handed that one to me because it wasn't Hall, so it had to be Watson.
Or it could have been Stythe.
She's going well, Stythe.
Well, her reboundings, she's leading rebounding, so I didn't. That's why I didn't guess her.
Yeah.
That's your contribution to the stats.
Yep. Done.